page 4 of the Wordsworth edition of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm going to read what Mr. Enfield says to Utterson about what he saw at 3 o'clock on a winter morning. The bottom paragraph of page 4. "Well, it was this way," returned Mr. Enfield. "I was coming home from some place at the end of the world about 3 o'clock of a black winter morning, and my way lay through a part of town where there was literally nothing to be seen but lamps, street after street, and all the folks asleep, street after street, all lighted up as if for a procession, and all as empty as a church. Till at last I got into that state of mind when a man listens and listens and begins to long for the sight of a policeman. All at once I saw two figures, one a little man who was stumping along eastward at a good walk, and the other a girl of maybe 8 or 10 who was running as hard as she was able down a cross street. Well, sir, the two ran into one another naturally enough at the corner, and then came the horrible part of the thing. For the man trampled calmly over the child's body and left her screaming on the ground. It sounds nothing to hear, but it was hellish to see. It wasn't like a man, it was like some damned juggernaut." Okay, so we have a very violent description here of Hyde, as we learn later, tramping on this girl of maybe 8 or 10. I want you in your notes to write down what you find shocking and underline the language that you find particularly shocking, and then perhaps compare with me. So press pause now on this particular tape and actually take a moment to circle some of the really shocking elements to this description. Right. I would point out some of the powerful verbs being used here. In particular, the little man, who we learn later is Hyde, is stumping along. So he doesn't have a kind of natural walk, does he? He's kind of stabbing at the ground. And then the other verb that is very powerful is trampled. He tramples on this girl as though she's just grapes or, a bit of litter to be crushed. And then we have the adverb calmly to go with that, which, think about trampled calmly. He doesn't seem to have any sense of remorse or guilt or panic or worry or anything about it, and left her screaming on the ground. Again, the powerful dynamic verb of screaming here that's interesting to think about. We also have the reaction of Enfield. Remember, a man about town, someone used to travelling around late at night in the city. We don't quite learn anything really of Enfield, but he's sense and experienced man, and he says it was hellish to see. It wasn't like a man, it was like some damned juggernaut. It's interesting, look it up in the notes in the Wordsworth edition, but basically juggernaut has a different meaning now than it had at the time. Now it means a lorry running over something, and in a sense we could bring that reading to this, couldn't we? It wouldn't be strictly accurate for what was happening at the time. So think about that he's a small man, Hyde, but he's like a lorry crushing this girl. We also, though, have the fact that a juggernaut was the cart driven by the deity, the Indian deity Krishna, who certainly would have been seen in a sinister light by many of Stevenson's British readers. So it's like the huge cart of a kind of foreign god that's running over the girl, and this introduces an element of religious imagery that carries on what we might even call satanic imagery connected with suggesting that Hyde is like the devil. This carries on throughout the book, but I want you to take a moment to kind of think about why Stevenson introduces this description so early on, and why does he do it through, narrated through someone who actually isn't important in the rest of the novel? Enfield is not picked up in the rest of the novel. Utterson, who's he telling it to, obviously is very important, but not Enfield. So think about why he's put this description here.